Hi, it's Mildred Songbird, the Michelle Birdsong Einstein in New York City. I'm here to mention clues to you, and I'll begin now. Owen Benjamin is owing Benjamins $100 bills. The guy named to the United States when he was president, Ulysses S. Grant. He signed into law a bill making the United States a corporation so he could borrow money from the Jews, the money lenders, the Rothschilds, because we have been in the Civil War and incurred debt. And of course the Rothschilds do usury, so the debt has mounted, and the United States citizens are the collateral for the debt. So if we default on our debt, I think it's $21 trillion. We owe the Rothschilds and China and others, and we have to work off the debt. So that's a tragedy because of Ulysses S. Grant and the treasonous Congress at that time. I think we should repeal the Act of 1871 and stop the United States from being a corporation. Okay, so let's see what else I wrote. The guy named Owen Benjamin is owing the citizens of the U.S. OW is owl, hurting, hurt, wing. $100 bills, Benjamin Franklin, amounting to the trillions of dollars in debt now, owing to usury. Owen Gabriel, guardian angel of heaven, was his wife at the time, was a woman. Order W, I see, sex, example, pleasure, enter. Gabriel. Also, Gabriel's getting some pleasure here. An example of pleasure, of sexual pleasure, but it's an example of sexual pleasure. It's not sexual pleasure, because the truth is out in the open. Order, pen, my writing pen is finding the truth, because I'm doing automatic writing, and the truth is appearing in the writing. Pennsylvania. Present energy of Eve, enter nature secret, I will, victory, an angel, enter, pleasure, a pleasure, AP, will energy of Eve, RT, who was the AP at Brooklyn Tech, where my husband Michael John Spear, Lucifer, worked. RT was his name. Adam, as sure of him, of his madam. Madam decoded. Ad am. Muslims. Okay, I got Muslims over here somewhere. Where did I put the Muslims over here? Muslims. Use, states, will, pleasure. Mildred Songbird, Muscle Shoals, Alabama. That's where we went for the expert musicians to play on the album What It Is. Multiple sclerosis is a disease. The violin teacher, Mrs. Elvira Morgenstern's daughter, had. Anthony Scalia, he was killed for treason. For the he opposed the treason he opposed. He was a Supreme Court judge that voted on the side of the United States Constitution every time. and they killed him. Evil's rocking the boat of the right eye, and my right eye started blinking. That's where I got this clue from. The right eye of justice, the Supreme Court. The battle of good and evil has been fought for 37 years between Eve, mother of the earth, good angel Gabriel, and the wicked angel Lucifer, named Michael John Spear, her husband, for 37 years. Gabriel won, and as a consolation prize, privately, she promised Gabriel's heart's desire, fame. That's what he wanted. Feel a migrant's energy. That's what the migrants want. Talk and share. They want to be seen. Those nobodies, those illiterates, those criminals, those, bloodsuckers that come to America illegally. They want to be seen, part of the world seen. So they don't care about doing things right, like the immigrants who come here illegally. See, they just want to be part of the scene. Hurry, hurry, look at me. All right? Scene decoded. See emptiness enter enemy's request. Okay, that's Eve. Eve sees emptiness enter enemy's request. Nevertheless, a promise is to be kept. He, Michael John Spear, Lucifer, is worthy to be praised. That's a song sung by the Southeastern University Choir, worthy to be praised. Michael John Spear is doing his duty and paying alimony without a court order. Lucifer, as Michael John Spear, has changed his ways. He looks at his wife as she who is to be obeyed. Okay, now let's see, where do I begin? After fighting her passive aggressive for 37 years, he kept making her mentally ill. This is Eve. Giving her bitter pills to swallow. He made a return trip back and forth to Capistrano alone when his parents were gone out of town. I think he was 17 years old. He learned he didn't need anyone by his side. He fell in love with himself. He was sad when I met him. He couldn't suck his own dick, and I didn't like sucking dicks. I didn't see the point of it. I think people who like to suck dicks are in the oral stage. They think a dick is a tick. He's mentally ill. I was the energy of psychiatrists, Freud, Jung's wife, and Fritz Perls. Lucifer is a homosexual narcissist. He confessed this to me. I had to prove it to myself before I believed him. I did the test where right behind the penis, if you rub it, if they're homosexuals, they won't feel anything. If they're heterosexuals, they go wild. And I did that, and he didn't do anything. He didn't feel nothing. That proved he was homosexual. He had told me he was homosexual, but then from time to time, he would say he wasn't a homosexual. I did the test with Edwin Birdsong, my first husband, and sure enough, he went wild. He was a heterosexual. All right, so I uncovered Michael John Spear, Lucifer's past birth, where he had been great master, Sawan Singh, and he had had his grandson, Charan Singh, at 5 years old, suck his dick. He wanted to be a woman with a teat, so he pretended his dick was just as nutritious as mama's milk. Every time I had a nervous breakdown during my 37 years of marriage to him, my friends and my psychiatrist Noel Taylor said, "He's the one who's crazy, and he's making you crazy." But I couldn't leave him somehow. I had to make sure he was all right. I also uncovered that he had been my brother, an abortion, in a previous life. My mother had aborted him. She told us about the little boy she aborted, and I was very upset that she aborted my brother, because I was thinking of my brother Gurinder Singh, who was my brother from when we were in heaven. You know, I wasn't thinking about Lucifer, but I didn't know that I didn't have this information at that time. I didn't even know that Gurinder Singh had been my brother at this time. I have learned I am an empath. I pick up the feelings of those close to me as my own. I hope you are careful as a woman, a pattern of Eve. A pattern of some form of Eve. Your life is not going to be identical to mine. There's so many different mansions in God's kingdom. Energy. You're very careful. I hope you're very careful who you let get close to you. Okay, because you're going to become like them. Chances are. Okay, what else? Is that what? Let's see, we got something down here. Close to you. Gurinder Singh, the saint, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, St. Nicholas, St. Valentine was inside of me, but he was also inside of angel Lucifer, wicked angel Lucifer, from the city of lost angels. That clue was from Vivian Tyson, who was a satsangi. She said there's something about the people in the West Coast. I don't know if the sun, they get too much sun. I don't know what it is, but they're crazy. And so my first husband, Edwin Birdsong, was also raised in the city of Los Angeles. And as I said in my previous video, I proved that he was crazy too. So she's got a point. I don't know if the sun is doing it, or that's just because the lost angels went to the West Coast, you know. So Vivian Tyson, who was sleeping with Louis Stout in Manhattan, breaking their vows. He had 10 children from another woman, another satsangi, that he hadn't married. But I found him mesmerizing. It was, Anyway, breaking their vows, said the sun made Californians crazy, fornicators. Jesus said, "Let he who is without sin throw the first stone." I say, show me the one who is stoned, and I'll show you the one addicted to sinning. So this has been my experience, because both of my husbands smoked marijuana, as I called because they told me it was a feminine plant. And so they were both, they didn't keep their promises, and they lied and cheated. And Charan Singh said, or the path, I don't know who said it on the path, someone on the path said marijuana is the devil himself. So, there's a lot of information here for you, and I asked Gurinder Singh to help me, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep all these information straight, because I wrote all over the page, and he did help me to speak clearly about it. So I hope you benefit from what information I've given you, thanks to Gurinder Singh, Jesus Christ. Okay, that's all for now. So long.